University of South Florida. I wish I could be there with you and doing this presentation in person and discussing the results with you today, but I couldn't be there due to some funding issues. But I have prepared a video for you. Now I'm going to talk about my paper. It is called Locomotion in Virtual Reality for Individuals with Autism Spectrum Disorder. First, I would like to talk about locomotion. Locomotion is defined as travel that is restricted to self-propulsion. And locomotion is asserted to be one of the most common and important tasks in 3D virtual environment. Although locomotion is not usually the main goal of the most immersive virtual reality systems, a wrong choice of a locomotion technique may have negative effects. And the autism is defined as the neurodevelopmental disorder with persistent deficits in social communication, cognitive processing, language-related abilities, repetitive behaviors or interests, executive functioning, and adapting to changes. Recent reports say that relevance of autism was 1% of the population across the world, and it has increased dramatically lately. There is no currently known treatment for autism. However, supportive training is reported to provide improvement in various skills. And virtual reality technologies have several advantages like providing real-time feedback, safety, layers of complexity, predictability, customization, and being primarily visual. And virtual reality tools is suggested to be an effective tool for training individuals with autism by various previous studies. However, there is no previous study looking for different locomotion techniques for individuals with autism. In this study, I have implemented 8 locomotion techniques. Some of them are largely used in this area, and some of them are quite new. First, I have implemented redirected walking. In this technique, we manipulate the user's perception in order to keep them in the physical tracking area. To do this, I have used translational gain, rotational gain, and curvature gain. The second technique was walking place, in which the user marches in the same place without moving forward or backwards. Walking place gesture is described as one of the closest gestures to real walking. The next technique was stepper machine. We used a stepper machine that was placed at the center of the tracking area, and the users do the stepping motion to be able to walk in the virtual world. The rotation was done by the head rotation, and more than 45 degrees head rotation lead to an automatic rotation in the virtual world. This way, the user did not need to turn their heads back while their body faced forwards. The next technique is point and teleport technique, which is becoming more and more popular in these days. The users point to wherever they want to be in the virtual world, and instantaneous teleportation occurs after a few seconds. Teleportation is triggered when the user pointed at the same location on the ground for 2 seconds. When the user kept their arms lowered, teleportation becomes deactivated. The next 2 techniques use controllers. In the joystick controller, to go forward, the user should push the joystick forward, and to turn, the user could either push the joystick to sides or rotate their head accordingly. Trackball Controller just works like a joystick. To go forward, the user should rotate the ball forward, and to turn, either turn the ball in the direction to turn or rotate their head accordingly. The next technique was hand flapping. In this technique, the user makes a hand flapping motion in order to walk in the virtual world. The flapping motion was independent of the position of the hand. The user could use flapping anywhere he likes. And the last technique was flying. In this technique, hand-raising gesture was used to stop and start flying, and the locomotion was performed automatically. So I will continue with the experiment design. The objective was to go to 10 destination points with each locomotion technique, and once arrived to a destination point, the user was needed to wait in the destination point for 3 continuous seconds. This was done to measure the control of that locomotion technique. The virtual environment was designed as 16 meter by 16 meter simple but realistic outdoor environment. There were some virtual walls around the virtual environment, which was limiting the area. We also used some ambient light and relaxing outdoor sounds to make it more realistic. And the virtual avatar was represented with 2 hands and 2 feet models to give some feedback to the user. In the virtual environment, after the 6th destination point, we introduced some obstacles, actually 21 obstacles in the form of cylindrical Roman pillars, which were 0.4 meters diameter and 2.4 meters height, and the distance between each other was 1.77 meters. Here you can see our results, the average time with and without obstacles. And at the right side, you can see the collision results. As you can see, redirected walking got the most time with and without obstacles and the most number of collisions. We believe that this is due to the exaggerated moment in the redirected walk. There are 8 different categories, like difficulty in understanding, difficulty in operating, in control, required effort, tiredness, enjoyment, overwhelmedness, and frustration. All of them got significant results out of ANOVA testing. As you can see, point and teleport and joystick results are usually good in all cases. But hand flapping and flying techniques didn't get good results. In this slide, you can see the results for motion sickness, presence, and preference. We couldn't see any significant difference in motion sickness and presence, but there were some differences in preferences. Most of the users with autism preferred point and teleport and joystick, and hand flapping and flying techniques were the least preferred techniques. For the discussion, joystick shared the first ranking in user preference along with the point and teleport. We believe that joystick controller was the simplest locomotion technique of all, and pointing to where they want to be also provided a simple form of representation. Locomotion that requires hand gestures did not provide convenient use for the participant with autism. In flying, which required the users to release their hands after raising up, it was difficult for users with autism to put their hands down to the idle pose. Also, in hand flapping, users had difficulty in keeping their hands still while waiting. Some of the participants made some additional movements to stop the locomotion, which actually delayed the stopping. Our recommendations to the developers for high-functioning individuals with autism: we suggest joystick for cognitively demanding and fast-paced environments. Also, we suggest point and teleport for environments with a few obstacles where long-distance travels are needed. They can also use walk in place if physical motion is aimed. We highly recommend avoiding continuous hand gesture-based techniques like hand flapping or flying. As a future work, we may look at locomotion techniques with different levels of complexity, and also locomotion techniques for low and medium functioning individuals with autism. Thanks. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at evren@mail.usf.edu. Have a good day.
All right, so we can let's thank the presenter, and again,